super busy here in the shop this week with all of Richard's junk. So we brought in Carlos with Serrano's Mobile Detail, and he's going to go through the Rolls Royce and the 48 and kind of just make them perfect. I know this one's going to probably need a paint correction. That one needs a good decontamination. And well, man, you just walk me through and tell me what you're going to do, man.
All right, let's do it. So starting on this Rolls Royce, we're gonna be doing just a very thorough wash. Usually when vehicles have been sitting in a garage for an extensive amount of time, I like to do a decon wash on there. So we're gonna do just a very thorough decon wash, and then we're gonna do a nice foam wash. We're gonna clean the wheels, the wheel wells, everything, make it look good. On the interior, we're gonna do just a good vacuum, blow out the interior, just make it look presentable and ready to go. And then on the Ferrari, we're gonna be doing a very, just a deep paint correction on this one. It is heavily swirled. I usually don't see a lot of Ferraris in this condition, but this one we're gonna be doing the same process we're gonna do to the Rolls Royce, just this one is just gonna be more in depth, cleaning the paint up nicely and just making this black paint pop. So phase one when I'm working on these vehicles is always cleaning the wheels first. For this process, we're gonna be using a dedicated wheel cleaner, and we're also gonna be using a dedicated tire cleaner as well. We're gonna clean the wheel wells really well using dedicated wheel brushes for that. And then we're gonna scrub the tires, rinse them off, and we're gonna keep going. So I'm pretty much done with the wheels and the tires. Next phase was the pre-rinse, which is what I've already done. And now we're to the deconning stage. This is what we call a iron decontamination. Be forewarned, if you use this, it smells. So what it does, it opens up like pretty much like the pores of the metals and removes any iron contaminants that's in the clear. Obviously that removes some light, like overspray, usually light tree sap and stuff like that. So let's get to it. So when you use this product, if you start seeing any purpling, that means that there is iron in the paint, right? So that it turns purple. Right now it's orange, but when it gets on the clear, literally it starts turning purple, and that's how you know that you have some contamination. That's a lot of iron on there. All right, so we're pretty much done with the pre-rinse. Now we are to probably the most funnest part, I think, as a detailer or as a DIY. You know, a lot of people ask me, what is that? It's a foam cannon. We're gonna be using the Gas Monkey foaming car wash. This one here, as the instructions say, is an ounce per your foam cannon. That's pretty much all it says. But we're gonna do an ounce. We'll do an ounce. We'll see how good it works. This is my first time trying it, so let's have some fun with it, right? I'll tell you what, that's pretty thick. The thicker the foam, the better the foam, right? All right, so we're done with the foam cannon process. Now we're literally gonna start doing the wash mitt process. Advantages of having a foam cannon is just that foam is really just gonna be real thick, and as it's cleaning, right, the foam is bringing down all the dirt, all the grime, and it's actually working pretty good. That's a pretty good soap, to be honest, as you can see it's separating and it's literally bringing all the dirt out. So literally at this point, I'm just gonna give it a nice wash mitt. We're using a bucket with a grit guard in our bucket, and what that's gonna do is just helps get all the dirt and everything, make sure it goes down to the bucket and doesn't come back out. Always practicing safe cleaning methods, right? One of the things I like to recommend if you have an exotic car is always use real soft brushes, such as this one. That way it doesn't scratch, you know, your chrome, your wheels, your clear, nothing like that. So it's always better just to have safe products for your vehicle. So it's always crucial for the drying part to get you a nice drying towel. There's many towels out there in the market, you know, just pick something that is just plush. This one here, I think it's a 1400 GSM. The GSM just stands for, you know, the denseness of this towel. And one towel, I can literally dry the whole car, no streaks. So this next step, we're done drying it. Now we're gonna be using their Gas Monkey detailed ceramic spray. The word ceramic, it's one of those things that right now it's pretty much, it's the keyword. If it's ceramic, there's particles in here that once this product pretty much dries or cures, as we say, you're gonna have like that ceramic coating effect. It's also gonna give you some protection as well. I don't know the durability really on how long, but usually anything with ceramic, you're gonna have some sort of protection, at least I'd say maybe a month or so, but pretty simple. I tend to always I'll prime the towel, right? And then what I'll do is I will apply it. Then I'll get a second towel, which is what we call the buff off, and then just blend it in, and that's it. On a hot day, I don't recommend you spraying it onto the clear or the paint, just because it's out in the sun. Obviously, if you have a garage, then definitely spray it on the paint, blend it in, buff it off. But in my world, this would never work if I spray it on there. It will literally stain your paint. It'll look like oil. And getting it off is gonna be a little bit of an issue because you'd have to wash your whole car again probably. When using any type of spray like these, like a detail spray, you can use it all on your door jambs. You can also use it on your wheels, paint, glass. Honestly, even plastic at times, you can use this product just to give you just that nice look. So it's always good to have this product because it's multiple uses. Alright, so we're done with this. I call it the maintenance wash. But we're gonna go ahead and continue to the 488, get that one ready for paint correction. Alright, so we are off to the last project with this 488 Spider. We're gonna be doing obviously a strip wash, meaning removing all the sealants, We're gonna be doing an iron decontamination as well. We're gonna be doing a clay bar as well. We just have to be very careful. This vehicle does have PPF, so we can be very harsh on the material. And then we're gonna take it inside and we're gonna start the paint correction process to remove all these swirls, all these buffer trails that somebody left prior, and this thing is gonna look really nice. We're down to the last phase, which is the strip wash phase. This phase here is pretty much what the soap is doing right now. Is pretty much releasing all the sealants, all the waxes, and then now we are using a clay mitt. When it comes to clay barring, there's many different types. There's a clay bar, there's a clay mitt, but today we're going to be using what we call is a clay towel. This is literally just like a microfiber on one side. We have clay on the other side. The beauty of this one, it's really the less aggressive, especially when working with these types of vehicles, these types of paint. These types of paints are real soft at times, so we want to just create less marring as much as possible. Even though we're going to do a paint correction, I always just want to go the safest route and just remove the top contaminants off of the paint, because with the polish and everything, it's literally just going to make the paint look a whole lot better. So pretty much you just put the towel and just glide it all on the paint, and you can definitely hear a lot of that the contaminants that are in the paint. You can hear that paint sound very rough. It has a little bit of clay, maybe overspray, but now it's nice and smooth, and that's what you want when it comes to when you're going to do a paint correction, a wax, or applying a sealant. You want to remove all the contaminants off, so that when you apply whatever you're going to put on there, it's going to bond to the metals and you have a longer lasting, prolonged durability of the product you're going to be using. Alright, so we're pretty much done with all the exterior. Now we are to the paint correction phase, right? What is paint correction? If you, many ask that question. Paint correction is pretty much, let's just say, the ability to pretty much remove swirls, remove scratches, light scratches. Paint correction involves, we say, one-step paint correction, removing maybe like 60% of defects. A two-step with more of cut and polish. We're chasing around 80%. And obviously, we also have wet sanding phase, where we can wet sand a whole car, literally bring that shine back on the paint. But for this scenario, we're gonna be just cleaning up the paint, removing a lot of the swirls that were previously done by somebody else. So we're just gonna clean the paint, remove some light defects off of the paint, and it should pretty much look good. call a paint gauge, a paint reader, or a paint thickness gauge. It's very important, especially for us who work in the polishing industry. It's very important to know your numbers, to know how deep you're able to cut, how far, like when to say no and stuff like that. So if we look here in the back in the section of this vehicle, we're reading 8, 7s. So I think this one here is probably original. It's an original paint still. If we go to the front, we're reading 12s. So that just tells me that this was probably maybe painted in the past. Maybe it got, you know, some scratches and they wanted to just maybe fix them. So they ended up painting it again. When the numbers are really high, that just means there's a lot of clear. For us, that's a good thing. Anything maybe 3s and low, we're really thin. We're kind of borderline to what we can do to really perfect the paint. In this scenario, I have high numbers, which really just gives me the opportunity to offer a wet sanding package or a very deep, like 2-step paint correction, without really neglecting the paint or really, you know, damaging it. Really, we can polish this paint like no tomorrow and we'll be good. So it's always good, you know, to know your numbers, to know what you're working with, because last thing you want to do is burn the paint, and I don't think it's cheap to paint these cars. Finally done with this 488. Let's pull it out. That looks good. All the swirls are gone. So pretty much at this point, we're done with the correction. Now we have truly what the owner wanted, was just a nice clean paint, removing the swirls, removing some of the scratches it had. Honestly, for a 1-step paint correction that I did on this one, it definitely turned out really well. Minor imperfections in the clear, but to be honest, it turned out really, really well. If you guys want to see more content like this, hey, give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. I definitely had a lot of fun. Again, shout out to Gas Monkey for the opportunity to work on this 488.